All right, man, peace. So it seems as though one of the stratagems that has been executed by Mr. LeBron James is going to come back and bite him in the backside. I recently released a video pertaining to an issue that LeBron James states that he has with Nick Saban and the University of Alabama, due to an allegation by LeBron James that Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide have abducted a piece of intellectual property from LeBron James and his team. That being the Barbershop conversational talk show that LeBron James seems to want people to believe that he came up with out of thin air. Well, another company has recently come forward to state that they themselves are going to sue LeBron James and his team because they themselves came up with the idea for the Barbershop conversational talk show, and they conferred with LeBron and his team about it 2 years before the product was actually released on uninterrupted.com, and they themselves want to be recompensed. So that's why it's very important that before you decide to levy any allegations or lawsuits on others, that you're cognizant of what may be levied against you. Now, do I believe that this lawsuit is going to find any traction? Who knows? It depends on what type of verification this company has. Anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in. I have to give credit to the release of this story to Miss Christine He Raped Me Leahy, who always seems to be on point when it comes to revealing some of the inner workings of the LeBron James team. She seems to have an issue with him for whatever reason. Who knows? Maybe LeBron James turned her down for some penis about 5 or 6 years ago, and she's still mad about it, allegedly. Anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
And finally, do you know what happens when you throw a rock at a beehive?
Yeah, your dumbass makes an ass of yourself, and you might get stung to death.
No, bad things happen.
Bad things. The bees, they all come out,
Right.
They swarm, they start stinging you. Bees
Right.
that you didn't even know were to your left or to your right.
Right.
That's why you don't throw a rock at a beehive.
Who did it?
LeBron James.
What happened?
Remember when he decided to take legal action against Alabama for
Yeah.
a show that slightly resembled his Barbershop show that had been done a million times before by...
I do believe that Nick Saban or someone on his team saw LeBron James' show on the internet and said to themselves, you know what, this would be a great venue for us to recruit players, because we know that LeBron James is extremely popular as an athlete, especially in the so-called black community. We know that so-called black men do have a very close relationship, a close bond with the convention of barbershop conversation, because that's where many of us grew up and first started to debate whatever it was, whether it be politics or sports or what have you. So let's adapt that for our own institution. Once again, Nick Saban is a 60-plus-year-old Caucasian head coach in college sports. And what all top coaches understand in whatever field they're in, whether it be professional or amateur, is that you have to stay ahead of the curve. You have to remain hip. Your hip factor has to be there so that you can seduce many of these younger black men into coming to play for your institution, because they're going to net you millions of dollars every year while you're paying them nothing, at least above the table.
By many other places, so in actuality, LeBron probably copied those shows.
Yeah.
In fact, there was an MTV show actually called The Shop. So he's throwing out the stones, right, at Alabama.
Yeah.
Now there's a company that's suing LeBron because LeBron actually took their idea. It's called...
Well, allegedly, LeBron took their idea. We don't know if that's a fact. It's also possible that LeBron and his team sat down with this company and they were throwing ideas back and forth, or maybe LeBron and his team just wanted to see how feasible it would be to create a barbershop show or any type of show that conveyed a conversation or communication between black males in a positive environment. And they were trying to see what the venue should be. Should it be a barbershop? Should it be a basketball court? Or what have you, a living room? And they were just throwing ideas back and forth. Companies do this all the time. They allege that they're the ones who gave someone an idea when they really didn't. And if they can't prove it, nothing's going to happen. They better have something that they recorded, some type of video or audio that they can use to prove that they're the ones that gave LeBron James and his crew this idea.
It's called Adventure Enterprises. They filed a lawsuit claiming that they consulted with James' multimedia company called Uninterrupted, and they met for about 2 years in numerous discussions about doing this show. And then LeBron cut him off went and did his show on his own. So now they're filing a lawsuit.
Yes, it's highly possible, highly probable that LeBron said to his team, look, we've been talking to these guys for 2 years. We have not been able to resolve anything for 2 years. We could find a local barbershop and just talk shit in there. It's not that big a deal. We get a couple of cameras, a couple of boom mics, and we go to work. That could also be how it went down. In this other company, they feel a little spurned.
So whether or not they have an actual claim is to be determined.
Sure.
However, this is maybe something LeBron should have thought about before he decided to try to sue Alabama for doing a show in a barbershop.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of assumptive for you to assume that he has not thought about it. Maybe he already knows that the idea that he came up with was his idea or the idea of his team, and he doesn't know anyone. Any corporation, any organization can bring forth a frivolous lawsuit. Just because someone files a lawsuit does not mean that it has grounds. When I see LeBron James, even though I get on him about some of his feminine antics, the brother does have a ruling class mentality. There's no doubt about that. When it comes to understanding how to market himself and create a brand for himself, he is a forward thinker. He certainly has the overall aura of a politician, and that's both good and bad. Meaning what? He knows what's advantageous for himself, but on top of that, he's also really just someone who does not have much going on below the surface, other than knowing how to market himself and foster a stronger and stronger cult of personality and image so that he can continue multiplying his constituency, that being his fan base. It's very important for him because he has plans for himself down the line, whether it be actual politics or ownership of the Cleveland Cavaliers or the movie industry, etc.
Yeah, it does look like now he doesn't have as good a case.
Yeah, it doesn't have a good case. In fact,
well, he never really had a good case, but I don't think that he was concerned with that. I think that he just wanted to show the University of Alabama that he saw what they were doing. And I also think that he understands that getting into a back and forth with them would market his own show. It would publicize his own show.
in fact, we know, it didn't take that much digging to find out that there are a lot of barbershop shows that he might have copied or gotten the idea for. They didn't sue him, but now if LeBron's going to go ahead and sue a college, people are going to come and sue him. That's what happens when you throw a rock at a beehive.
Well, when you're running a mega multi-million-dollar company with various branches like LeBron James, you expect lawsuits every day. The bigger you get, the more lawsuits you're going to be the recipient of. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You have to be bold sometimes. Fortune favors the bold. It is what it is. Do I think that LeBron James came up with the idea for his barbershop show? I think that he came up with it from the standpoint that he was just looking for a venue that he thought would be able to convey a strong level of positive communication that would create the image of a venue where he could relay what his thoughts were on various topics, because he knows that for whatever reason, people care about what he thinks other than about basketball.
That was very well done, Christine. That was how you played that thing. That was very well done there.
Thank you. You don't have a comeback, do you?
It was very well done. I had mystery. I didn't know what you were talking.
Look at Nick Saban. Nick is like, oh, whoever came up with this idea was brilliant. I'm going to get so many fast-running Negroes in the University of Alabama by next year. I'm going to win my 6th, 7th, and 8th national title. I'm going to make all type of money. Thank you, LeBron.
We're talking about, then you closed it and
bringing
came
the fire
full circle
from Miami.
Very good. Christine with the news.
Well,
But anyway, that's it on this topic. I just wanted to provide a little update for the video that I uploaded yesterday pertaining to LeBron and Nick Saban. Sometimes I think that LeBron takes himself a little bit too seriously, but I understand why he does that, because he does have plans for himself down the line after he decides to finally hang him up in another 10 years after his PEDs were off, allegedly. But LeBron is someone who thinks that he's at the top of the hill, and he's going to fire shots at whoever he feels like is approaching the summit that he's on. But anyway, peace.